In the third section of our lecture, now we will talk about some differential diagnosis. In this, we will discuss some conditions which are closely related to these features or signs and symptoms presented by the acute tonsillitis. So these conditions are agranulocytosis and leukemia, atrophic and traumatic ulcers, and candidal infection of tonsils. First, the differential diagnosis of membrane over the tonsil. So as I mentioned in the last section, there is formation of the membrane over the tonsil in two conditions. We have faucial diphtheria, which leads to the membrane formation over the tonsils, and then there is also the condition known as acute membranous tonsillitis that can also lead to the formation of membrane over the tonsils. So let's talk about some conditions that can cause formation of membrane over the tonsil besides these two conditions also. So first, the membranous tonsillitis, which is due to pyogenic organisms. Exudative membrane is formed over the medial surface of the tonsil, and this presents with the features of acute tonsillitis. Diphtheria, again slower in onset with less local discomfort. The local discomfort is not as severe as with the membranous tonsillitis or other types of acute tonsillitis. There is membrane that extends over the tonsils, extend beyond the tonsils rather. There is dirty gray Corynebacterium diphtheria. So the membrane is dirty gray in color and it is caused by Corynebacterium diphtheria. Bleeding surface is present. Other condition is Vincent angina. It is insidious in onset, less fever and less discomfort. Membrane can be easily removed. Fusiform bacilli and spirochetes present. So Vincent angina is another condition now in which there is membrane form, but this membrane can be easily removed and it is caused by fusiform bacilli and spirochetes, which cause the Vincent angina. Another is infectious mononucleosis. Enlarged congested tonsils and the lymph nodes are also swollen and enlarged. Local discomfort is marked and there is splenomegaly present. More than 50% lymphocytes, 10% are atypical. And the test for the diagnosis of infectious mononucleosis is Paul Bernal test. So these are some conditions besides the membranous tonsillitis and the diphtheria. The two conditions, which is Vincent angina and infectious mononucleosis, are the conditions in which the membrane is formed. The Vincent angina membrane is easily removed or can be removed easily, and it is caused by spirochetes and fusiform bacilli, whereas the infectious mononucleosis is there is enlarged swollen nodes, there is membrane present, and this infectious mononucleosis is caused by Epstein-Barr virus. Agranulocytosis, another differential diagnostic condition. which presents with ulcerative necrotic lesions. A, granulocytosis. A is absence of granulocytes. Granulocytes are the cells like neutrophils, which are very, very effective in the protection against the foreign invaders and different infections. So when there is deficiency or no granulocytes are present, then the body is prone to different infections. So presents with ulcerative necrotic lesions. Severe illness. So agranulocytosis, no granulocytes are present. So this can cause very severe illness. And even if you see the diagrams, this is very, very severe picture, very bad exudative necrotic tissues present. It is of two types, acute fulminant form. Fulminant form means very bad, severe type of illness. In this, the total leukocyte count, white blood cell count is decreased to less than 2000 per cubic millimeter or 50 per cubic millimeter. So white blood cell count is very, very low. White blood cells are effective in it protects the body against the infections. And if the white blood cells is so low, then it can let the patient leads to different kinds of infections, and it is very, very severe illness. Polymorph neutrophils reduced to 5% or less. So it's acute fulminant form of agranulocytosis. A means absence, granulocytes, absence of granulocytes, which include polymorphonuclear neutrophils. Then another form is chronic or recurrent form. Total count is reduced to 2000 per cubic millimeter, less marked granulocytopenia. It is less severe as compared to the fulminant form because the granulocytopenia or decrease in the number of granulocyte is not as bad as in the fulminant type, but still low, and it leads to cause the swelling of the tonsils, swelling of the lymph nodes, all that severe picture that you see in this diagram is present. Then another is leukemia. Leukemia in simple term is blood cancer. In the blood cancer also the blast cells are produced. Cells which are produced, they are not normal, healthy, mature cells, and the cells which are formed that are immature, they break very easily. So person is also at the exposure to different microorganisms and different infections are common. So leukemia in children, 75% of cases it's acute lymphoblastic type, 25% is acute myelogenous or chronic. In adults, 20% of acute leukemias are lymphocytic, 80% are non-lymphocytic. So in children and adults, there is difference in the leukemias. In children, it's 75% are lymphoblastic, 25% are acute myelogenous. In adults, 20% are acute leukemias are lymphocytic and 80% are non-lymphocytic. This is the picture of the patient with the leukemia. The cells are not regular, mature, and normal. Anemias and blast cells are present, and TLC, total leukocyte count, is more than 100,000 per cubic millimeter. Plenty of white blood cells are produced, leukocyte count is increased, But most of these cells are the blast cells, not the healthy, mature, functioning cells. Anemia is present because of destruction of the cells that are immature. Atrophic and traumatic ulcer, that's the other differential diagnosis. It's aphthous ulcer, in which there is involved any part of oral cavity or oropharynx. So aphthous ulcers are present in the oral cavity or oropharynx. They are solitary, single, may involve tonsil and pillars, small or quite large, very painful. So aphthous ulcers can also involve the tonsils. They can be described in the differential diagnosis. They are very painful and they lead to ulcer formation, which are solitary ulcers, and they can be small or very large. The other is traumatic ulcer due to trauma, which any accident, injury can lead to ulcer also, and membrane appears within 24 hours. So all these differential diagnoses are like we have first the membranous differential diagnosis, in which we discuss the membranous tonsillitis, then the diphtheria, then we talked about the Vincent angina and infectious mononucleosis. All these four types leads to the formation of membrane over the tonsils. Then we have 3-4 other conditions. One is agranulocytosis, then leukemia. Then we discussed the aphthous ulcer and the traumatic ulcers due to some trauma or injury that can lead to the formation of membrane also and involves the tonsils. Candidal infection of the tonsil, this infection caused by the Candida albicans, also a common infection. Candida is usually present in the body, but whenever the immune system is weak or low, people who are diabetic, who are taking chemotherapeutic drugs and antibiotics, usually they develop the candidal infection. So candidal infection of the tonsils, diagnosis is by the history is very important. Physical examination, total and differential count, blood smear, throat swab and culture, bone marrow aspiration or needle biopsy, Paul Bunner or monospot test for infectious mononucleosis, and biopsy of the lesion. So these are some features which are helpful or the tests which are helpful in the diagnosis of the candidal infection of the tonsils. Again, pretty much, so if you all the pictures we saw until now, we saw that there is swelling of the uvula, there is swelling of the palate and the tonsils, and the white patches are pretty much present in all of them. So it's very, very significant of the tonsillar area involvement. That was all about section 3. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.